The future is ours. Destiny unfolds. Speak your mind.
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
Apparently the video games, I don't know, commission group, a lobbying group for Video Games Europe has made a statement about stop killing games. That's right. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services
The future is ours.
never taken lightly.
Stand by
and
for
must be an
phase jump.
option for companies when online
Mining
experience
upgrade
is no longer
complete.
commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with the local consumer protection laws. Well, so it's about that last sentence that we really need to talk about, though, right? So you're complying with the local consumer protection laws. Well, we've got a few new ones for you to comply to.
The future is ours.
Harmony
How about we
research
just have a couple
complete.
more of those, and you're going to comply. with
Heathens
those
be
as well.
purged. Is
And
it
also,
time?
you're gonna
Without
follow-
delay.
You're gonna
Without
jump.
delay.
Yeah, bro. Like if we say jump,
Is it
the
time?
government says jump.
Very
you
wise.
say how high.
Speak your
You don't
mind.
make the rules.
Say
The
no
people
more.
make the rules.
Last
and as
chance
soon as
to
the
join
people
the
realize
unity.
That,
The
stuff
future
like this
is
immediately
ours.
evaporates.
Last chance to join
That's
the
it.
unity.
It's about
A
fucking time,
colonizable
yes.
planet has been
we'll win,
discovered.
yes. Do
Our
not
forces
ever,
have engaged
ever,
the
ever
enemy.
Think that you can't overpower
You will be
these parasites.
purged.
You easily can. The only reason why we don't is because
Death will
people are
cleanse
stupid.
your sins.
That's the reason why. It won't change unless people stop buying it. Of course it will. Of course it will. You just make it against the law. Problem solved. That's it. You just change a regulation. If anyone doubts how powerful the EU
Mining
initiative
upgrade
can be,
complete.
Video Games Europe, an industry lobbying group,
Is it
has
time?
unsurprisingly come
Destiny
out against stop killing
unfolds.
games. The arguments
Speak your
against
mind.
allowing you to keep
Last
your purchase
chance
are
to
flimsy.
join the
I'll
unity.
have a video on
Is
it
it
in a day or
time?
two. Yep,
Very
and so will
wise.
everybody else.
Destiny
the thing is that
unfolds.
these lobbying groups are
You
really
will be
important,
purged.
But what matters even more
Speak
than
your
lobbying
mind.
groups is votes. Because different
Death
people
will
that make
cleanse
money
your
and,
sins.
are influenced by these
You
lobbying
will be
groups.
purged.
If enough people
Last
complain
chance to
about
join
it,
the
you
unity.
can make it go away.
The future is ours.
People are complacent. Yeah, these people like money, but they care more about power. And so, yeah, they know how effective it's going to be. That's not the full statement. There's more. Really? All right, so this is the full statement that they made. Video Games Europe said in their statement, "We appreciate the passion of our community. The decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an
Harmony
option for
research
companies when online
complete.
services no longer commercially viable." Well, that's again, that's not even what people are asking for. Yeah, people
it
are
time?
not asking for you to
Say
provide
no
online
more.
services forever. People
Very
are asking
wise.
for you to allow other people to provide online
Destiny
services
unfolds.
in absence of you providing them yourself. Nobody says that you have to run the server forever. They're twisting it again. It's included in the petition. It's an alternative or some sort of other solution. That's not the only way of doing
colonizable
it. They
planet
want
has
pirate
been
software video.
discovered.
Read the next paragraph. We understand it can be disappointing
Another
for players,
planet
but when
joins
that does
the
happen,
unity.
The industry ensures that players are
Very
given fair notice
wise.
of the prospective changes
Speak
in
your
compliance with
mind.
local consumer protection laws.
Last
Well,
chance
we're
to
gonna
join
change
the
laws,
unity.
and so that's
Death
it.
will cleanse
And,
your
hopefully at
sins.
least, right? That's the goal. Private servers are not always a viable option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would have rights holders liable. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Absolutely not. You don't have to regulate the entire internet. You don't have to do that. It's not your stuff. It's not your issue. If somebody else takes your content and they turn it into something else, you're not legally liable for that. And also, if you are, then maybe we should solve that problem too. So let me get this straight. Because of one stupid rule, we have to have another stupid rule.
Harmony
Hey, I've got a
research
solution.
complete.
Why don't we stop making stupid rules? Like, how about that? How about we stop creating this apparatus of retardation that everybody has to fucking play gymnastics around because a bunch of lawyers want to make money?
Speak your mind.
It's ridiculous. What a ridiculous idea. And in addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. No, it's just that you have to provide an option for players to be able to play peer-to-peer. There is
Commerce
no
upgrade
reason why players
complete.
can't play peer-to-peer. And also, your ability to maintain and control your intellectual property, in my opinion, does not supersede an individual's ability to have ownership over what they've paid for. And this is the big problem, is that these people view intellectual property as the pinnacle of value. No, consumer rights, consumer protections, and
You want us
ownership
over with your
is the
fancy
pinnacle of value,
words,
and
and
intellectual
your
property
coin.
is underneath that. You can
A
say that's right.
colonizable
Yeah,
planet
that's
has
totally
been
different.
discovered.
They could just make it possible for other people
Planet
to get it.
item ready.
That's not the way it works. Yeah, you can have plenty of DRMs, more expensive with no DRM. You just set it, move the goalposts, so multiplayer is either peer-to-peer or service. Yep, exactly. And let's go back. I can see and find this here. And where's the rest of it? We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those that have led the European Citizens
Very
Initiative
wise.
in the coming months. Video Game Europe's case is it can be too expensive for developers and publishers to offer private servers or single-player modes. It's not that it's too expensive, it's that it makes them have to give up a certain degree of their intellectual property. That's the reason, is that they think that their intellectual property is more important than our rights as consumers. It's really simple. And I disagree with that. And if enough people disagree with that, we take it away from them, and then they have to jump the same distance that we say we do. So don't ever give these people an inch. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about any of this stuff. They don't care about the integrity of the games.
Harmony
They don't
research
care about
complete.
the legality of this. They don't care about anything other than maintaining a complete stranglehold over this, and doing so through the ability of them to exercise their connections and money and resources inside of the government. Never give a fucking inch. And
A
so, no,
colonizable
absolutely
planet has
not.
been discovered.
Yes, if we can get enough people
Mining
together,
upgrade
we can make
complete.
them do what we want. That's right. It's that simple. Not even about the game. Yep. Let's make them do what we want. And if they want to cry and complain about it, go ahead. Stop making the games. But you won't stop making the games because that's the way you make money. And you'll easily fit and you will easily acclimate to this just like you acclimate to everything else, because you're a business and every business has to meet the market demands at the point that they want. Cybersecurity argument? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's hear the cybersecurity argument from Sony. Oh, no. Wait a minute.
Say
Sony
no more.
says that. Wait. Oh, no. If somebody else is running it, your stuff might get hacked. Oh my God, imagine if that happened. That would be horrible. Never give an inch and
A
make the deal.
colonizable planet has
I'm
been
gonna read your
discovered.
comments,
Stand
real
by
quick.
for phase jump.
Make it a
Commerce
lot of games,
upgrade
$120.
complete.
Fine, then they'll go out of business. If you can't make a product at a cost that meets the initiative and the demand of a consumer,
You
Then
will
you
be
go out of
purged. Is it time? Destiny unfolds.
that's what happens.
Say no more.
We set the price. They don't set the price. Now, they try to sell it for that much, but that doesn't mean that we have to buy it for that much.
Our
How many times
forces
do you
have
spend?
engaged the
What about
enemy.
licensing with third parties?
Very wise.
you'd have to
Another
give me a more
planet
specific
joins the
example.
Unity.
Speak your mind.
Yeah, you'd really have to give me a more
Last
specific
chance to
example
join
of
the
that.
Unity. You will be
And
purged.
also, by the way, this is my general opinion about intellectual copyright. I think it's way too overreaching and it's way too strong and it's overpowered and it needs a rebalancing. It's way too overpowered in favor of companies, and individual users and people that own, media need to have more rights in general. So I don't really give a fuck about third-party licenses and, oh my god, somebody's using my character or something like that. Then don't put it in the game. Backend services typically have tons of third-party products that you use for licensing fees. Too bad.
Logistics upgrade complete.
Why would I care about that as a consumer? Nothing about that justifies taking away the product
The
that
future
I paid for
is
as a consumer.
ours.
Your business licensing problems have nothing to do with my rights as a consumer.
Death will
That's not my
cleanse your
problem.
sins.
Your problem is
A
licensing.
colonizable
not mine.
planet has been discovered.
The rules are retarded? Yeah. You didn't pay for it? Needs to read what you paid
Harmony
for.
research
Well, I mean,
complete.
then we redefine what paying for something means. You really went soft on Pirate Software? His arguments are very similar to the article that you read. Well, I've already addressed that. I already talked about all of the arguments. I already said it in general. And also, the reason why I went soft on Pirate Software is because Pirate Software has no power or influence, but this company and this initiative and lobbying group does. Why do I don't feel threatened by a YouTuber, but I would feel threatened by a lobbying group? What are you, fucking retarded? Of course. So I totally support this. Obviously, when Ross comes out with a video on it, we will just keep pushing this.
Destiny
And then also, here's
unfolds.
another really big
Mining
problem,
upgrade
is
complete.
that this is an issue for all forms of media.
Very
And
wise.
as soon as this can be addressed and people can understand it,
Is it
then I
time?
think it's going to help a lot. Sarah, thanks for the 20 subs. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Very wise. Say no more.
Why weren't licenses an issue in the past when single-player games were offline? Because they created this problem. That's the reason why. They created this problem in order to justify doing things that were unfriendly to consumers. That's the reason why. They invented the problem, and now they say, well, we've created this issue, and now you have to exist inside of the confines of these issues. No, it's an artificial problem. Never accept the premises of somebody that's acting disingenuous. University instructor caught on camera attacking an Indian student wearing a MAGA hat.
Pullman is farm
made
country
a
and is home to
fine
Washington
purchase.
State
I
University,
know.
a campus that's focused on academic excellence and is supposed to be welcoming to
about some hot water that Hassan may be in legally in the state of California. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. So typically, my policy overall with
Stand by
defamation,
for
with
phase
litigation
jump.
defamation, is
Mining
just to
upgrade
ignore it,
complete.
asset buy is to really pay it no mind, particularly if they're smaller channels and smaller people,
who gives
really
a
to
fuck?
ignore
Yeah.
that at large. However, when a channel of 1.7 million people spreads
Wow.
false information about yourself,
That's a
clearly
lot of people.
not having watched a single one of my videos or really knowing much about
Our
me, it
forces
seems,
have
other than what
engaged the enemy.
most deranged antis might try to cook
Harmony
up,
research
there is some
complete.
need to respond to
Say
that. And
no
also,
more.
there is
Give
a
the
need to
order.
bring up some
I'll
very
do my best.
real legal trouble that Mr. Piker may be in regarding California, especially as some individuals look
More
to,
credits are
against them.
required.
So,
Ouch.
first of all, we're going to start by reviewing the defamation itself, and this does come in the form of a video
Not
which
good,
I have
guys.
right here for
Very
you guys.
not good.
And
Is it
this
time?
is Hassan kind of responding
The future
to his
is ours.
chat.
Destiny
And
unfolds.
talking about
it
me
time?
and why he's not going to review my videos. And I
Commerce
just want to start
upgrade
out
complete.
by saying
Speak
I
your
love
mind.
the fact that you're going to see
Very
immediately
wise.
how he jumps
Another
to
planet
ad
joins the
hominem.
Unity.
Because ad
A
hominem, or
colonizable
personal
planet
attacks,
has been discovered.
when used as a debate strategy or when used to rebuke someone, actually represent a concession. That actually means you are incapable of making a legal argument or an objective argument or an informed argument or in any sort of educational argument. You're simply trying to discredit someone personally to get around the fact you lack the capacity
Speak
to
your
actually
mind.
argue. And so I actually don't
Destiny
take offense to that. I'm
unfolds.
very used to it, having been on the internet for years now.
Civilian
So we'll get
structure
into
complete.
this vi-
Desecrators assault our world.
Christ. Wow. I mean, it generally that is true, by the way. Is
Civilian
that
structure
if somebody can
complete.
argue against something on the basis of its facts and validity, they'll choose to do that. And if somebody can't argue on something on the basis of on its facts and validity, they will choose
Is
to
it
insult the
time?
person saying it.
video and the
pretty
thoughts
common.
by Mr.
Very
Piper.
wise.
Dude, there's
just
something
average.
so funny about people being like, dog, have you seen the legal mindset video about you? Dude, if I were to cover every Rumble
Civilian structure
lawyer,
complete.
fake lawyer that
Stand by
actually-
So
for
let's
phase
stop
jump.
right there. Okay, so Rumble
Harmony
lawyer is very
research
interesting.
complete.
And I
Rumble.
think he may mention Rumble again. While I do have, I guess, still a Rumble account, I haven't uploaded it to years. I don't stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube, primarily as a
Speak
native
your
platform. I
mind.
tried the
Say
others. I
that.
don't like them. Rumble,
Civilian
just as a
structure
comment,
complete.
initially
Mining
offered a
upgrade
very good
complete.
package contractually
The future
to stream on
is
their platform,
ours.
good advertising packages.
Destiny
that fell off
unfolds.
way back towards the
A
COVID days.
colonizable planet has been
So, yeah,
discovered.
that's kind of a
Civilian
weird thing.
structure
Now,
complete.
fake lawyer is interesting, and I want to throw out here that
Civilian
that's
structure
possibly the most
complete.
defamatory thing.
Planet
now,
item
I want to
ready.
give Mr. Piker some credit here because perhaps he knows nothing about me or knows nothing about the law. Well, clearly he knows nothing about the law or what words mean. A lawyer is anybody with a law degree, whether or not they're licensed and practice law. So anybody who's gone to law school is indeed a lawyer. Now, attorney is someone above lawyer. You could say
It's like a license,
that
yeah.
word is perhaps not interchangeable, but similarly related insofar as they are not only a lawyer, not
Speak
only do they
your
have a law
mind.
degree, but an attorney has to be licensed
Stand
to
by
practice
for
in the
phase
state.
jump.
I'm licensed to practice in the state of Florida. So I am both a lawyer and an attorney above that.
So it's not even true. I can't believe it. Hassan doesn't like somebody, so he just made up a bunch of random stuff about them to make them look bad. Can you believe that? Oh my god. What the fuck? So he just did that?
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
that?
Logistics
Real
upgrade
talk.
complete.
I think
Is it
that
time?
he's Hassan at this point and
Do
content
not
creation
dare
at this point, I
resist.
said this earlier,
The future is
it's getting
ours.
to be a really big
Say
industry.
no more.
Our
And
forces
in the
have
process of it
engaged the
becoming
enemy.
a really big industry, there's more accountability with that. He has to stop doing this because maybe it might not be
Is
this
it time?
but it
I
might
am
be
the
next
Unity
time.
servant.
You
Strike!
can't just go out and just start
No mercy.
vomiting like just insults at people that are like really damaging, like calling people pedos or saying someone's a rapist or something like this. Like you've really got to dial this back. And I think
Upgrade
he's been getting
logistics
away
to
with it.
unlock
A lot
more
of people have
civilian
gotten away with
slots.
it for a long time, and I
More
think the
credits
reason
are
why is
required.
pretty simple. It's because
The
it really
future
just,
is
nobody
ours.
really cared.
Civilian
because it was-
structure complete.
The money was
Harmony
small,
research
the industry
complete.
was small, and it
Your
wasn't a big
time
deal.
has come.
But as live
A
streaming
colonizable
and
planet
YouTube
has
and
been
Twitch
discovered.
streaming and,
Commerce
just the
upgrade
general
complete.
influencer media
Civilian
grows and
structure
becomes
complete.
larger,
What's on your
that level
mind?
of accountability is going to go up, and I
No
think
mercy.
he needs to stop just like how many
To the
people do you
death.
know on the internet that are transphobic that aren't racist? Pretty much zero,
Civilian
right?
structure
Because
complete.
it's always all of these words. It's never one of them, it's always all of them. And the problem is that with people that do this kind of stuff, you never do that shit. I try not to.
Hostility
But the
research
reality
tier
is that-
complete.
and this is going to become more and more true, is that
Upgrade logistics to
making
unlock
these
more
statements
civilian
about people,
slots.
eventually somebody will hold you accountable. And the problem with Hassan specifically is that he will blatantly lie. He will like just straight up say something that is completely untrue with no, like literally zero justification whatsoever. Like something will be red, he'll say that it's blue. Eventually that's going to get you in trouble. He'll strawman your ass, straight up lies. Yeah.
The
like,
future
for example,
is ours.
he was saying that I was complaining about black fatigue.
Your time has come.
When actually, in the
Commerce
clip where I
upgrade
was
complete.
discussing the topic, I
Heathens
was
be
saying
purged.
that it wasn't a thing,
Destiny
and it was just a problem with
unfolds.
antisocial behavior. So, and that's just an example that I've experienced.
Say no
Obviously, like there's
more.
been other people that have experienced things that are
Very
similar to that
wise.
with Ethan or whatever else. And so, the problem is that eventually, like, I'm not going to sue Hassan. That's stupid. Like, I don't want to do that. But somebody else will.
You
And
pick
eventually,
him, I'll
that's gonna
stick him.
happen.
Whatever you say.
And that's
Another
it.
planet joins the Unity. Civilian structure complete.
Is it time?
So
Say
thinking
no
about
more.
that logically, as a little bit of
Do
education,
not dare
all
resist.
attorneys are lawyers.
It's
Your
Reddit
time
brain.
has
Yep,
come.
No, it is. It's Reddit and Twitter brain. And the problem is that Hassan, and he'll love this if he sees this, Hassan is famous and well known enough now that I don't think he can get away with that anymore. I think he's going to have to watch his language a little bit and not just randomly make shit up about
Hostility
people
research
and put it out to
complete.
his audience.
Harmony research complete.
Not all lawyers are attorneys. So there you go, Mr. Piker. That's a language. So that statement is indeed false, right? That I am a quote-unquote fake lawyer because I indeed possess a law degree from the University of Florida. So that statement
Is it time?
in the future would be defamatory. And
Call the
with Mr.
shot.
Piker, we do have to remember, and with myself and other figures, is that we are all
public
public
figure, yeah.
figures. So we follow the New
You
York
pick
Times
him,
versus
I'll
Sullivan
stick
standard.
him.
We have a higher standard for defamation than the normal private individual. So now that that's been clarified publicly for Mr. Piker, and that he
No
will
mercy.
well know that
the
information is
death.
false and defamatory, to continue to do so would perhaps
Is it time?
incur liability on the part of Mr. Piker. But let's continue to see what he
Well,
has to say.
it's obviously
Desecrators
damaging to
assault
somebody
our
to say
world.
that they're a
Civilian
fake,
structure
like, to say
complete.
somebody's a
Where's
fake
the
doctor,
target?
say somebody's a fake lawyer. You're directly attacking their profession.
Logistics upgrade
There's actual malice
complete.
here? Yeah, there is.
Like a fucking right-wing freak that spends most of their time talking about like trans people.
So that's very interesting. So I will say this.
A
most
colonizable
of my
planet has
time
been
talking about
discovered.
trans people, the issues I have been covering lately have been the Ethan Klein lawsuit, have been Johnny Somali, have been Vitali. Now, unless you are counting something with Somali or Vitali as a trans issue, which I would struggle to understand
don't-
how that
yeah.
would fit in, then
make it up.
yeah, that's not at all what my content
it
has
up.
been about for the past years.
Yeah.
So very interesting thing. Also, I keep politics out of my streams, and it was particularly over the last year. 6 months, definitely
So he's
last
just
6
making shit up, right? That's the thing. Is like, this is what's going to get him in trouble. And I know that he's going to be
Speak your
defensive about
mind.
this if he ever sees
Harmony
this.
research complete.
But he
Planet
should take
item
this
ready.
seriously. Maybe not on
Civilian
screen,
structure
off
complete.
screen, you know, whenever you
Hostility
don't have to
research
put on
complete.
a perspective.
Civilian structure complete.
You need to dial this shit down. You need to dial this down before you fuck it up for everybody.
months in a year. I have endeavored to keep my streams as objective and
gotta-
educational
he's
and make
gotta
it
dial it
a
down.
environment where everybody is welcome. Even people who like Hassan Piker are welcome in my chat, so long as they are civil, so
Mm-hmm.
long as they keep the conversation from violating the terms of service of the platform, because I indeed do care about abiding by the terms of service of the platform.
Yeah.
That is, you are welcome in my chat, whether you're right, left, center, whether you're apolitical, whether you don't care about politics. It doesn't matter at all to me. I care about the law and educating people on the law. That's the core of my channel.
Imagine
So
that.
let's continue.
I would lose my mind. I would have no time to cover anything else. I get it. A lot of you are drama perverts, okay? And you nut when you think about the prospect of drama. but I'm not.
I will say, I actually do not
The
like drama.
future
And in fact,
is
I'm actually going
ours.
to try to avoid drama.
I
Last
love
chance
drama.
to join the
I farm it all
Unity.
the time. None of it matters. It's just purely entertainment. I'm not
Last
sorry if
chance
it's
to
gonna
join
keep
the
happening.
Unity.
I'm not above it at all.
Civilian structure complete.
I go to McDonald's 5
Mining
times a
upgrade
week.
complete.
In fact, even in carrying out my behaviors, I try to make sure that I am
Average.
focusing more on
Civilian
the legal
structure
aspects
complete.
of things rather than the dramatic elements, the interpersonal problems, stuff that people did. I try to focus on the legal elements of the story.
A
Now,
colonizable
sometimes
planet
to
has
give
been
the legal
discovered.
elements, You have to give background, you have to give context, because things don't make sense in context, without context. However, yes, I would agree
We'll have
with
2 drinks.
Hassan that I don't like drama, but what Hassan tends to define as drama, and what it appears he's defining as drama,
Upgrade
is
logistics to
anything
unlock
that
more civilian
disagrees
slots.
with the things he's doing. So by somebody saying what you are doing is objectively risking lawsuits,
Speak
it's
your
objectively
mind.
wrong. or,
Harmony
for example,
research
saying,
complete.
Hey, your orbiter
You will be
is broken, They're
purged.
going to lose in their copyright infringement. Here's the explanation of the law. Apparently, that's drama to objectively
You pick 'em,
educate
I'll
people
stick 'em.
on the
Somebody in chat said that
Without
Hassan reminds
delay.
me of the guy that used to be surrounded by girls, but now he's surrounded by lawyers.
Is it time?
Commerce upgrade complete. Hostility research complete.
Very wise.
It's so funny.
All right, you
Oh my
twisted me
God.
arm.
Hostility research tier complete.
that's a new
Civilian
definition
structure
of drama.
complete.
And I don't know what you guys think, chat.
Going to
Destiny
pay any mind
unfolds.
or any attention
Call the
to some
shot.
fucking psychotic MAGA lawyer,
Destiny
not a real lawyer, but a
unfolds.
passport bro.
So, okay, that's real interesting. Once again, he repeats the defamation, saying I'm not a real lawyer, which is indeed wrong. And it's interesting, and MAGA, of course, don't bring up politics. That I've never talked about that at all recently at all. But beyond that, passport bro is interesting. Because the definition of a passport bro is typically someone
It's a
that would
guy who goes to an Asian country to get an Asian girlfriend who wants to date a Western man because the idea is that he can't get a wife in a Western country. That's what a passport bro means.
visit a location for a short period.
Logistics
purely
upgrade
for
complete.
Sexual purposes.
Yes.
And for anybody who knows anything about me,
You
I
can
made
do that? Yeah, you can do that. You just go get one.
Harmony research complete.
Like, you know how like you can go down to the grocery store and go buy a pineapple? Well, they're a bit more expensive. It's what I hear, and you can't really buy them. You have to like
Stand by
get
for
them
phase
to
jump.
agree to come with
Civilian
you.
structure complete.
But yeah. It's not as so it's more complicated than buying a pineapple, but it's less complicated than dating an American girl. It's in the middle of those two things.
a long-term resident of several countries in Asia. I've been a resident of the Republic of South
Say
Korea,
no more.
the Republic of Thailand, the Philippines, and
Very
Japan.
wise.
These are all wonderful, amazing countries, and I do help people obtain legal
Exotics have been
visas and
unveiled
legal
by our
residence
squires.
long-term
Our
in
forces
these
have
countries
engaged
because
the
they
enemy.
appreciate the culture, the lifestyle, the quality of life, the peace, the safety, the tranquility.
Exotics have been
These are
unveiled by
amazing
our
things,
squires.
about living in
Hostility
Asia.
research
And
complete.
Didn't Hassan
Exotics have been unveiled by our
he
scriers.
left
Scryer
America
visions
after
have
Trump won
revealed
the
an
election?
unexpected bonus.
Stand by for phase jump.
He did.
Logistics upgrade complete. Exotics have been unveiled by our scryers.
Another amazing thing is that, unlike America, and this may be surprising,
Exotics
to
have been
Hassan,
unveiled by our
it is
scryers.
not as
You've
easy
made a fine
to
purchase.
get away with being an
No
illegal
refunds.
migrant to these countries. So if you try to illegally migrate to Japan or Korea, very good luck to you, sir. Because likely you will end up in the cell next to Johnny Somali, aka Ramsey.
Wait, so
The
you're
future
saying Japan
is ours.
and Korea are racist
Destiny
again?
unfolds.
Oh my god.
Khalid Ismail, if you try that
What?
in Korea, it's not going to go well for you. So I would insist that perhaps the only person that perhaps between the two of us would be a passport bro is the individual who visited Berlin solely for the purpose of going to a brothel. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Who offer
Harmony
By the
research
way-
complete.
There's nothing wrong with going to a brothel. I think that's totally fine. But you shouldn't throw
it
stones
time?
when you live in a brothel. Shouldn't do that.
A colonizable planet has been discovered.
offers fucking courses on
Is that
becoming
story
a
true?
passport bro?
So the Hassan brothel story is elements of
Exotics
truth
have been
and
unveiled
untruth.
by our scryers.
Hassan did go to a brothel. The brothel was raided for the potential of having trafficked underage people, but the accusation for that was found to be false, and the brothel received an apology.
Who primarily fucking streams on Rumble.
Neither one of those things are true. I do not have a single course on becoming a passport bro, and I do not primarily stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube. So, yeah, there we go.
Why do you guys come in here and ask for this stuff? It's never gonna happen.
And that's the great point. I'm gonna leave it right
Requisite
there.
research
It's
must
never
be
going to
conducted
happen
first.
Because Hassan lacks the capacity to actually address real issues and to actually respond to legal or objective arguments, because he's incapable of doing that. Not only because he's not a lawyer, even a non-lawyer can make an argument, can make a policy position, can say this should be this way for XYZ, but because he needs to discredit others by ad hominem in order to try to win an intellectual argument. And frankly, that's at the lowest level of argumentation.
Jesus Christ, this is bad. Oh, man. Yep. This guy knows how to make a backhanded compliment. This is not a compliment. There's no compliment at all. Yeah.
Civilian structure
What you
complete.
really
compliment
can't
at all.
argue with is the law. And in fact, there's a California law, which was pointed out by a California lawyer friend of mine.
Speak your mind.
Where that shows that he may have violated this statute, 653.2, involving electronic cyber harassment. So this is the statute which reads, every person who with the intent to place another in reasonable fear
Not
of his
enough
safety.
crystal.
So if you have the intention to scare somebody else, to place them in fear of their safety, or the safety of that person's
Shut it
family
down!
by
Shut it
means of an
down!
electronic communication device, a computer, or a cell phone, and without the consent of the other person, and for the purpose of imminently causing that other person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment by a third party, electronically distributes, publishes, emails, hyperlinks, or makes available for downloading personal identifying information, including but limited to a digital image of that other person, or an electronic message of a harassing nature about that other person, which would be likely to incite or produce that unlawful action. So he put out that photo, and he engaged in those actions with the intent to instill fear in that other individual. So that individual could look into...
No, he's pulling out a gun because he just wanted to look at it. Yeah, he wanted to look at it. He thought it was interesting.
contacting
Yeah, that's
California
the
law
reason
enforcement
why.
could look into that pertaining to Hassan and
The
take
future
action
is ours.
thereby. Very interesting and something for him to worry about, but of
To gun
course
a piece?
only
Yeah.
if he addresses
Hostility
it.
research
Let me know what you
complete.
guys think in the comments below.
Exotics
I'll
have
catch
been
you on the next
unveiled by our scryers.
I'm glad to see more
Exotics
people,
have been
call
unveiled
shit
by our
out
scryers.
because a lot of
Civilian
the,
structure
a lot of
complete.
the people
Exotics
that are
have been
part of, like, that
unveiled by our
group,
scryers.
Their entire
future is
apparatus
ours.
of
Civilian structure
existence is
complete.
defined by lies. They just make up a bunch of stuff
Very
about somebody,
wise.
and then them and all of their friends repeat it to each other.
Logistics
And
upgrade
now
complete.
they make it true, right? That's what happens. Is they just constantly lie and make shit up about people, and it's very annoying. It is very annoying, and I think that also again, as streaming becomes bigger and as all these things, and it is, by the way, there's the video, give it a like. I really like Legal Mindset. I think he's a good
We
guy.
need more
He's-
Halonide.
He's a straight shooter in a general sense. I like him, and that's it.
Is it time?
The initiative to keep games from being destroyed by publishers is still raging on,
colonizable
and now
planet
there's a
has
ton
been
of updates
discovered.
to talk about in regards to this story. And after I catch
Civilian
all of the
structure
things, I gotta
complete.
then dive into how Pirate
Harmony
Software
research
is now
complete.
lying on purpose again. Firstly, it was confirmed by Accursed Farms, who started Stop Killing Games, that the movement has indeed passed 1 million signatures officially. As of this video being made, the movement is sitting at 1.1 million signatures, which is great to see.
Civilian
However,
structure
Accursed
complete.
Farms has said in an update video that it's not over
Stand
and there's
by
still
for
plenty
phase
of
jump.
problems. One of the issues, which is kind of ridiculous, is that according to Farms, there's a massive amount of signatures where people are apparently miswriting their names when submitting their information. Yeah, why that's a problem, obviously, is because if your name is misspelt, then it can't be confirmed and actually counted towards the signatures that are needed. So I know this sounds kind of stupid to say out loud, but if you're in the European Union and you're signing this, guys, come on, double check to ensure that you spelled your own names correctly. According to Farms, he believes that at least 10% of the now 1.1
Destiny
million
unfolds.
signatures could be thrown out due to this single user error alone, and he fears that the number could be as high as 40% of
Our
signatures
minds
that
awaken.
could be thrown out due to people not being
He's
able to
made a
spell their
fine
own
purchase,
names. For
and
the love
no
of God,
refunds.
man, come on. So again, please, proofread it before
Stand
you
by
enter.
for phase
Thank
jump.
you. Another very big problem that Farms has found is that he's noticing people are trying to re-enter their names
Greedy
multiple
heathens pillage
times
one
as
of our
signatures,
worlds.
which is not
Say
only
no
not
more.
going to work, but it's
Very
technically
wise.
illegal to do that
You
with
pick 'em,
petitions in case
I'll
you don't
stick
know.
'em.
So yes,
Destiny
there are people
unfolds.
absolutely, according to Farms, who
Say
again
no
has
more.
access to this data, that people are spoofing their signatures or using
Stand by
bot
for
accounts
phase
to
jump.
falsify signups onto Stop Killing Games initiative. What that could do is, for one, it could destroy the movement entirely, which we don't want that to happen. And if the petition is full of bot accounts from people who technically don't exist, then it's considered spam. And therefore, it could be seen as online manipulation to get this petition signed into law through, nefarious means. Which could, yes, kill the entire thing, and then my cynical mind immediately starts thinking, what if publishers or people who just don't want Stop Killing Games to succeed, they could just spam the signature process with plenty of fake bot accounts by the thousands, triggering a shutdown, and then they would win effectively immediately. So with that in mind, Farms believes of the
Hostility research complete.
signatures,
An
that realistically,
auction
the
is
real amount of
underway.
people who probably signed this is somewhere between 600 to 700,000 people. So yeah, not actually a million yet. I know, I don't like pissing in your guys' cereal
Harmony
like
research
this, but
tier
unfortunately,
complete.
we do have to face reality here. So please, anyone watching this that is in the European Union, if you haven't signed it
Inaction
yet,
will be
please
our
sign it.
undoing.
And please
They
do
will not
use
go
bot
down
accounts
without a
or
fight.
fake signatures to artificially boost this number, because all you're going to do is just seriously
We
harm
remain
Stop Killing Games
skeptical.
in the long run. Also,
Desecrators
another
assault our
update, which
world.
is ridiculous. Someone has apparently started a cryptocurrency that is attached to Stop Killing Games, although I couldn't find any proof of this
Civilian
myself.
structure
Accursed
complete.
Farms does bring
Our
this up in
forces
today's
have
video and
engaged the
confirms that
enemy.
He has zero ties to it and pleads to people
Civilian structure
not to give
complete.
any money to any crypto stuff that is attached to this movement, because it is 100% a scam to get money out of you. So please don't do that.
Civilian
But if
structure
anyone can find
complete.
actual links or something to this supposed cryptocurrency, please email
Civilian
me.
structure
Box in my
complete.
Email. Thank you. Another problem is that specifically Italian and Belgium signatures are not registering properly.
Logistics
and that
upgrade
this has
complete.
something to do with those
Civilian
countries
structure
specifically when it
complete.
comes to their digital online IDs. So it's more so just a problem with those two countries that they need to
We
figure
must
out,
act.
possibly needing to reach out to their government assistance for help to hopefully
Speak
ensure
your
that
mind.
their IDs are working properly, but it's only those two that we
You
know.
failed
Lastly,
to
Farms
place a
hopes people
bid.
do not harass
We
Pirate
sensed
Software.
your
He
presence.
wants things to cool down between himself and Pirate.
Your
because
time
in his
has
opinion,
come.
The online fighting has gotten too much. However, Pirate Software has also now made things even worse. So let's get into that now. Obviously, Pirate Software tried to destroy Stop Killing Games and ruin it because he didn't agree with it. And he made 2 videos about 10 months ago about how he felt the movement was pointless and basically needed to fail. He said things like
Civilian
saying that
structure
Immersive Farms
complete.
looked like a used car salesman and that the whole thing was basically pointless.
Last
and that he
chance
would
to join
actively
the
do his part
Unity.
to ensure that the movement does not succeed.
So with that in mind, that community brought me this and tried to get me to sign it. And I don't want to. I wouldn't sign anything like that.
Obviously, since then, things have gone nuclear, as we all know, and now Pirate has decided
Death
to
will
again
cleanse
the
your
victim card, and, well,
sins.
being called out for
Last
it. Here's what he
chance to
said.
join the
I am no
Unity.
longer working at
Death
off-brand
will
games.
cleanse
People
your
were attacking
sins.
all of the games we were publishing
Last
and
chance
trying
to join the
mass review
Unity.
bomb them. You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged. Learned
We
a lot there,
are
accomplished
ready.
a lot, hope they succeed
Logistics
regardless.
upgrade complete.
Love those dudes and loved working with them. Hope they keep cooking. Off-brand games, in case you don't know, they publish various indie titles on places like Steam, and Pirate Software claims now that they're being harassed, except, well, that is not actually the case. As seen here on Steam for Rivals of Aether 2, a game they published, the reviews are
Hostility
not
research
mass bombed
complete.
at all. Actually, recently the game has had more positive reviews than ever before. So this game proves already that Pirate Software is not exactly telling the truth yet again, it seems. The Aether
future
mentioned
is
OSC
ours.
also has very positive reviews. Again, there's 0 signs of mass bombing there either. Again, also looking here, 78 or even 79% of reviews have been very positive for Aether 2. Also confirming that this mysterious review bombing has indeed not been happening despite Pirate saying otherwise. However, the only game that has been mass review bombed for sure is Heartbound, which is the game that Pirate Software made and still hasn't been finishing even though it's been in development for years now. However, as you can see here with Heartbound's Steam page,
Done
the
and
developer
dusted.
and publisher is not Off-Brand Games, but Pirate Software himself. So this game has no connection to this publishing studio. Instead, it's being mass review bombed because Pirate has attempted to obviously ruin Stop Killing Games. So yes, the Heartbound thing is legit, but Off-Brand
We
Games,
are ready.
no. So
Is it
unsurprisingly,
time?
people started calling out Pirate Software and asked him, why is he lying again about something that can be so easily proven otherwise? Well, here's what he said. For those trying to say that this
Last
is now
chance
somehow
to
a
join
lie,
the Unity.
news was across socials, people on Discord, Twitter,
Last chance
Reddit,
to
and
join
some
the
reviews on
Unity.
Steam.
Defense
In-game
upgrade
fragile
complete.
things and attacks like that,
Death
the
will
hard
cleanse
overall
your
sentiment was
sins.
to bash the games and the developers working on them to try to get back at me. Not worth bringing them down for my opinion. Also, stop it, get some help. Okay, you can say that, but the data isn't showing what you're claiming though. Like, none of those games were mass review bombed at all. Like, anyone can go look that up publicly, but claiming that harassment was across socials, which is a convenient way to just spread the blame and the evidence into small microcosms all over the internet, is not surprisingly original of Pirate to try to do, because then he can grab a comment on Discord here, or an email here.
Speak your
claiming,
mind.
Oh, it's all the justification I need is harassment, and that's why he left. But the thing is that Pirate, for whatever reason,
Last
just keeps
chance
on
to
lying
join the
time and
Unity.
again. In my previous video on this, I spoke on how Pirate lied about the World of
Very
Warcraft
wise.
incident. It even doubled down
Speak
saying
your
that the
mind.
hardcore raid was not
Harmony
his fault,
research
when
complete.
it was 100%
Destiny
when players went
unfolds.
back and reviewed the footage of him playing.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
Say
What are you
no
talking about
more.
when I'm walking? Look
This
at
is
my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you? Yell
Harmony
over another
research
voice like
complete.
I'm doing?
Speak.
The galaxy's finest corsairs at your
See,
service.
Discovering that
As
Pirate
ye
was actually
command.
responsible for all the problems that he was claiming. To me, anyway, Pirate seems like the kind of guy who thinks he has like a 150 or like a 200 IQ brain,
Is
but
it
instead
time?
routinely seems to make
Stand by
mistakes
for
that no
phase
one of
jump.
that caliber would ever make.
The
He's
future
kind of like
is
a dumb
ours.
person cosplaying as a
Hostility
geek. Does
research
that make
complete.
sense? But trying to garner sympathy this way is not going to work because the thing is that what he's attempted to do
He's
by
made a
slandering
fine
Stop Killing
purchase,
Games will
and
absolutely
no
overrule any sort of
refunds.
pity party that he tries to make for himself. Because the alternative, if he got what he wanted, would have just been games come, publishers kill them, and that's pretty much it. Then Artur Smiarowski, who made games like Soul Ash 1 and 2, replied to Pirate and claimed what he just did here has opened indie developers to further cancel culture mobs. Here's what he said. Excellent work, man. You fed the trolls for the next 6 months by showing them that any indie developer can be seriously harmed by review bombing. People will get what they want. You could have ended this by showing some humility or humor, but
Is
you
it
chose
time?
weakness. You're a leader of a community. You wanted to lead the indies, enjoy their recognition, and teach them how to succeed. That also comes with responsibility, and you have to show some backbone when it's needed. I've been dealing with this crap for a year to show developers to stop acting like wussies, contribute their point of view for a healthy debate, and stop making everything crappier only to cater to narcissists. You can go and crash over an opinion that isn't harmful or even politically divisive. You are, in fact, most responsible for everyone getting what they want. Why on earth are you self-flagellating over that? I hope you learn from this and set a better example next time. Arthur's right, and by the way, he is telling the truth about being attacked by online
We
activists
sense
for well
darkness
over a year
all
now.
around
Arthur's
us.
game Soul Ash 2 does not
Truly,
have same-sex romance
our
in it.
forces
One,
have
because Arthur
engaged the
doesn't want
enemy.
that, but two, because his game focuses on
The
bloodlines
scourge
and
of the
passing traits through
galaxies.
the DNA, which obviously two
The
men or
next
two women
marks the
can pass
coordinates.
genetic traits through one another to a baby, because that's
Our
not how
future has
biology
become
works. That's
uncertain.
why a man and a woman are the default relationship.
We
in this
must
game.
keep our wits
Despite
about
that,
us.
He was attacked all over by activists claiming that he was bigoted, this, that. Yet Arthur never once budged. And now, even a year
Inaction
later,
will
his
be
game
our
remains
undoing.
unchanged. So when
We
Arthur
remain
said when he said to
skeptical.
Pirates that he was absolutely bending the knee to an online hate mob, he was right.
Into the
Leaving
void.
off-brand games to protect it from backlash was pretty much pointless because, like I showed, they weren't even being review bombed at all, even despite Pirate.
Have we waited too long?
So this criticism and backlash is being placed on Pirate as an individual,
They're through
not
our
those who
shields!
surround him. That's why Heartbound got bombed, not only because Pirate made that game, but also because people are pissed that that game has been in
Our
development.
is compromised.
Something like
We won't
almost
last
10
long.
years now, it's not enough.
Moving into phase space.
You're in-
We're crippled and defenseless.
obviously,
Our ship is lost.
understand that.
The
However,
future
the alternative
is
that
ours.
Pirate seemingly continues to keep making his position, his identity, and his credibility worse with every post or opinion that he spews. I know this will sound kind of odd, but Pirate sort of reminds me of myself when I was in my teenage years. I thought I was like the greatest ever. I was so smug and full of
Civilian
myself.
structure
I hated
complete.
authority. I thought nobody was smarter than me and I was better than everyone else. Thankfully, yeah, I moved on from that mentality and quickly realized, wow, I'm actually not better than anyone else and I was just being a dick.
Destiny
But I had
unfolds.
this thought in my brain that I was better than others for seemingly no reason at all. And honestly, Pirate kind of reminds me of that, but unironically, he's just never evolved past that prepubescent, almost childlike, I'm invincible,
Done and
I'm always
dusted.
right attitude. You ask me, no one's better than anyone else. I mean, people even claim that Pirate uses a voice modulator to make his voice lower because his actual voice in videos sounds nothing like he does now. Here's Pirate's real voice, by the way.
Welcome to Denver Comic-Con. I'm HB Duran for Video Game News Source, and I'm here, guess where? With the games,
Speak
of
your
course. I'm
mind.
here with Thor,
Military
founder of
structure
Pirate
complete.
Software. How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic-Con, and there's so many people, and they love the games, so it's been awesome.
Also known as Pirate Software Online. I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at...
So we have Champions of Breakfast, which is a twin-stick shooter that we made in 24 days from concept to release on Steam.
And it's really easy to say like, oh, you know, that'll get worked out down the line.
And that game is pretty difficult, so if you're into really hard arcade games, that's the kind of thing for you.
But it actually had a sequel that came out in 2018. And then it had another...
Is
Harmony
Heartbound,
research
which is a
complete.
more story-driven RPG. And we've been working
We
on that for
await
about
your
6
command.
months. We put it up on Steam Greenlight. It got rank 1.
And I understand that people find that to be a problem from the
Speak
player's
your
perspective.
mind.
So it was massive success.
You're talking everything, like even phone games, as funny as that is.
And then we put it up on Kickstarter, and it got funded in 24 hours.
Just require online-only activity.
Yeah, that sounds like two completely different people, and I wonder why that is. Although, the guy has claimed that he went through a second puberty, which allowed his voice to deepen further, but no, that's not how that works at all. Like, you can just Google that. Here, look, I did just that, and Google now probably thinks I'm Arthur the Tarded for asking this question. But no, men cannot go through a second puberty. You stop all of that by the time you're like 25 or so. So this guy is 100% probably using a voice modulator on purpose to change his voice. I would be like if I just suddenly changed my voice.
It suddenly sounded way deeper than before that I
An auction is underway.
What?
You don't believe that this is my real voice?
Oh, have you maybe tried going through second puberty like I have? Actually, I'm joking. What you're hearing right now is third puberty.
Hostility
I'm
research
32 years
complete.
old and I'm currently evolving at such a rapid pace that you plebeians just can't keep...
Defense upgrade complete.
You just wish you sounded this cool, but again, let's just make it clear as day for everyone listening. No, you cannot go through second puberty, sorry, and I love how the lady in the video calls him Thor. The guy's name is Jason, you're not Thor, man.
My name is Jason Thor Hall, also known as Pirate Soft.
Is it time?
That's like me saying you have to call me Ultra Hawk Commander in real life. It's just cringe, but what Artis Miarowski said about Pirate is correct. The last thing Pirate should be doing is trying to paint himself in any way as the victim here. Look, every day someone on the internet becomes the main character, and
You've
your
won us
goal
over
as
with your
someone on the
fancy
internet
words.
is not to become
I'm
the main
your
character
toy.
on the internet. Because if you do, it's probably because you did or said something very stupid. Unfortunately for Pirate, he's become the main character for about 2 weeks running now. It's the definition of screwing around and finding out. Then Ludwig, of all people, I guess, decided to enter the conversation and repeat what Pirate Software said. Here's what he said. Stop Killing Games is a good initiative, but a few bad actors review bombing, harassing developers of the games we support at Off-Brand Games. Appreciate Thor stepping down
Defilers
from the
encroach
government
upon
of the
us.
devs and their games. Oh my god, the dude's name is Jason, not Thor. But anyway, saying that a few bad actors are review bombing is factually incorrect. Why is Ludwig and Pirate now saying this? Off-Brand Games has not been review bombed. Stop trying to push this narrative, it's not real. But of course, Pirate would again try to pull the sympathy
That way
card, and here's
feels
what he said.
perilous.
The most interesting narrative is that my videos somehow killed the initiative. This
You
graph shows the
failed
initiative
to place
already
a
had
bid.
a downward trend in
Do we have the
interest when my
strength to
videos
purge them?
dropped. My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all, making me the villain did though. Best of luck with your next steps. Ah, so we're pulling this card now. Okay, so Stop Killing Games was trending downward.
We
and
must
Pirate
keep
thinks
our
that
wits
his
about
opinion
us.
actually helped the initiative. Well, he is right in one regard. His opinion
Our
of
forces
taking
have
Stop Killing
engaged the
Games when
enemy.
it was already
Do we have the
down
strength to
absolutely
purge
did
them?
cause it to
I need
skyrocket in the
orders.
opposite direction.
Absolutely.
However, trying to claim that you're not at fault for damage
Defense upgrade complete.
already down doesn't
Our future
work,
has become
because you
uncertain.
can still hurt something that is already weakened, and that's exactly what you did, Pirate. Instead of helping the initiative that
May
was
their
clearly
deaths
struggling,
bring us
you purposely
peace.
made it clear
They
in
will
your
not
video
go down
that
without a
you
fight.
don't want to help something that was clearly
We await
hurting
your
someone.
command.
This is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is it's Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
I
That is
need
awful.
orders.
That is horrible.
On
goddamn
my
garbage.
way.
That's awful, dude. Now, eat my entire
But you
Immediately.
instead used your influence and your power to
On
push
my
damage
way.
further, and now
Absolutely.
you're rightfully being called
Our
out.
shields
I'm
are
going to actively tell
offline.
people not to.
Our
And now
future has
suddenly you're
become
trying to make it seem
uncertain.
like you're the
Do we
villain,
have the
but
strength
also
to
the
purge
victim?
them?
No, that's not
May
how
their
it
deaths
works.
bring us
You were
peace.
the one that kicked
Do we have the strength to purge them?
the most. You could have saved it, but you chose not to. But you are 100% right that you are the villain of this story because you're rightfully getting called out, while also having your credibility nosedive by being exposed all over. You've gone
Military
from this
structure
smug
complete.
know-it-all to being exposed as the weakest link in your World of
Armor
Warcraft parties,
down!
and you're being
Only
criticized
the
rightfully
unity
so.
can save us
Mistake
now.
again, I'm disbanding.
Hostility research complete.
You guys cannot do that. God damn it, guys. So one of you hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. I swear to God, I'm gonna go back to the
They will not go down without a fight.
That is insane.
Do we have the strength to purge them? May their deaths bring us peace.
100%. That is not on me.
And using your influence to kill a movement that was clearly nothing but a net positive for players, and I really don't understand still why you don't want Stop Killing Games not to work. And in your video, you even say this would lead to less live service games and more single-player ones, and how is that a
Severe
bad
damage
thing? Live
sustained.
service
All
is what
systems
has
are
been in this
failing.
industry for
The
years now.
Unity
It's
will
so
survive this
easy
loss.
to live service
We
runs.
remain skeptical.
PS5 has had the least amount of exclusives
Did
ever in
someone
Sony's
say
existence,
booty?
or really first party in general, because they keep starting to
As
make
ye
some live
command.
service slop game only for it to die mid-development.
Inaction
And
will
how
be
is that
our
a better
undoing.
alternative to
Into
solid
the void.
single-player games? I mean, you can't be serious. Plus, the importance of Stop Killing Games has also been made even more relevant than ever because of Anthem. As GameSpot reports here recently, Anthem shutting down entirely will be unplayable starting next year. And as Forbes also reports here, seen not
Harmony
only is the
research
game
complete.
offline for good, but EA will not be reissuing refunds either. So Anthem will be taken off
Military
officially on
structure
January
complete.
12th, 2026, about 6 months from this video going live. So you can play it right now, I guess, but it will be gone forever eventually. And funny how Jason, Pirate Software, thinks that it's simply not realistic to keep games in a playable state, and then EA proves exactly why Stop Killing Games is so important.
Our
with now
will
Anthem
is
being dead and gone
transcendent.
forever soon too. The fact you can't get refunds
We
is
are
also
ready.
insane. I saw people online trying to defend this. Why should you get your
We
money back?
are
Well, I don't
ready.
know, because the thing you bought and was promised
Whatever
that
the
you'd be able to
Unity
play when you paid
wills.
for it can now no longer be played at all, yet your money is not being, given back to you. It's just gone now. How can you be okay with that? Not even the physical copies bought of Anthem can be used. They're just useless discs now. This is what I mean. This is why it's important. It's yet another game that has now been deleted forever,
Call
and your
the
money
shot.
is gone with no
Our
way to make
minds
up for it.
awaken.
That's just not okay.
Fire
No matter
the
how people try to
cannon.
justify it. Hell, even more recently, it was confirmed that in Ubisoft's user agreement, if your account gets banned that's attached to their games, you are also
Did someone
ordered by
say
law
booty?
to destroy any copies that you own of Ubisoft.
That way feels perilous.
Are you kidding right now? This is why this thing needs to
Stand
succeed,
by
because
for
this
phase
practice
jump.
is literally just destroying video games digitally and physically, as if they're nothing but players to make. So Pirate Software can act all the time and try to make it seem like he's the victim here, but why is he the review bomb? But this
Is it
initiative
time?
does need to succeed. By the way, Pirate, how can you claim that review bombing is bad when you actively stated in
We
your
are
videos that
ready.
you will do your best to ensure that Stop Killing Games does not work?
We
via
await your
review
command.
bombs? Is that not just another form of
More
review
credits
bombing
are
as well?
required.
Or is review bombing only okay as long as you're the one
Production
doing
of
it
the
and not
item
the
is
other way around?
complete.
Just want to
The
make sure I
future
get this
is
right, 'cause
ours.
it seems like you're trying to push the idea of rules should be
You've
for
made
everyone
a
but
fine
yourself,
purchase.
while lying that you're being
No
review bombed
refunds.
after intentionally trying to destroy a movement is your just desserts. And yes, you do deserve the backlash. Because none of this backlash would be happening if you just for once didn't think that you were better than others for whatever weird reasons you cooked up in your head. Also, before I go,
Vengeance
Accursed Farms
is
had
a
an
cruel
update on the
mistress.
invalidated signatures. Here's what he said. I was given some
Desecrators
stats about
assault our
previous
world.
European Union initiatives that passed and how many signatures were discarded. It looks like the low end was about 100,000 and the high end was about 250,000. I suspect we'll be closer to the higher end, so every legit signature helps. So everyone who hasn't signed the initiative
Speak
and
your
lives in the
mind.
European Union, the link for this is in the description box below. Because if anywhere near 250,000 signatures are not being counted due to whatever invalid reason, we need them more than ever then. So please go sign it, ask your family members to sign it, every little bit counts. As for Pirate lying, I mean, are we even surprised at this point? But what do you think about all of this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Say no more.
The future
Very
that will
wise.
genuinely own nothing and you will be happy was at first seen as a joke. There's no way that companies could implement something where you actually have little to no access to the content that you buy. Can they? But with how the industry has been going,
Production
this
of the
no longer
item is
something that can really
complete.
be overlooked, and
Stand by
instead,
for
it's
phase
now
jump.
becoming a reality. Not
Civilian
only will you own
structure
nothing, but
complete.
now you're gonna pay through the nose for it too. Let's start with Activision Blizzard.
Civilian
the company
structure
that looks at
complete.
its players less like people and more like living flesh wallets. Activision Blizzard is easily one
Civilian
of the
structure
greediest gaming
complete.
companies that has ever existed. And after being bought by Microsoft, this hasn't changed anything, but in fact, made them even worse. These guys have been fleecing players for years, and their predatory practices are so blatant, yet unfortunately, they also keep getting rewarded because they're dangling the video game version of crack over their customers. That crack, by the way, is Call of Duty, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if they inevitably add
Hostility
microtransactions
research
that cost
complete.
more than your rent or car insurance to their games eventually. Their most recent mega release was, of course, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which has already proven how much of a masterclass in squeezing players dry Activision really has become. Before, you would drop $70, but soon, that's gonna be $80. We'll get to that, don't worry. But even if you want a cool skin for your
The
gun,
storage of
that's
the
also gonna set
galaxies.
you back at
An
least
X marks
$20
the
these
coordinates.
days. And a premium
Is it
battle
time?
pass, that's another $10.
Heathens be
And don't
purged.
forget about those ultra premium battle passes that are like $30 now, because apparently there's a VIP
Our forces have
section in
engaged
Warzone.
the enemy.
And the goal of games like Call of Duty is not just to drain your wallet dry. It's to
Our
become
time has
the
come.
only game that you can reasonably afford to play because you're
At
sinking
last.
so much into it already. I'm halfway
Is it
convinced
time?
the reason why every Call of Duty game's download size keeps getting bigger is on purpose now. Activision just inflates their download sizes so you will only
Implicitly,
have enough space for them alone.
the future
on your console.
is ours.
I previously reported in another
Say no
video
more.
that players were livid when Activision snuck ads into Black Ops 6's loadout menus. They called
I
it
await
a
your command
test that went live by
immediately.
accident once they got called out by
Speak
the
your
internet
mind.
and they were being credited for
Your
it.
time
They
has come.
apologized. Anyway,
Destiny
here's two examples,
unfolds.
as you can see, where players complained how Activision Blizzard
Do not
was
dare
pushing those
resist.
loadout bundles in
Your
the
time
loadout
has
screen
come.
based on the guns that you're
Heathens be
using to
purged.
purposely coax you into
Your
buying
time
it
has
by
come.
telling you 24/7
Do
every
not dare
single time
resist.
you were playing that game.
Heathens
We'll come
be
back to Call of
purged.
Duty in a second, but then there's
Do
even
not
the
dare
Guitar Hero
resist.
mobile game announcement.
Your
Activision
time has
released a
come.
new Guitar Hero.
Your
And
time
fans
has
were
come.
losing their minds because the idea of having
Your
another
time has
Guitar
come.
Hero on the go is actually
Standing
really
by.
cool in concept.
Absolutely.
And obviously a touchscreen on your phone makes sense for a
Immediately.
game like this. There was
On my
tactical
way.
hype until fans realized
None
it's a
will
mobile game
survive.
with, and I'm not kidding, AI generated visuals as you're seeing on screen here. Yeah, they
Done and
actually
dusted.
used AI to create an official poster for Guitar Hero Mobile, and again they refused to pay artists, which is kind of crazy, but sadly not really surprising given who we're talking about here. I wouldn't even
More
be surprised
credits
if the
are
songs in the
required.
game are just re-recorded with like off-brand singers
Is
and
it
AI
time?
instruments too, just so that they don't have to pay the
Standing
real artists
by.
the full fees for the songs. At this point, nothing would surprise me with Activision
Shield
Blizzard and their
down!
scamming tactics. Commenters on their Instagram page obviously
Production
spotted
of the
eyeballs.
item is
They
complete.
have eyeballs, of course.
Unleash
They called
our
out
wrath.
the wonky, misshapen
The unities
hands and
will
the
be
bars
done.
that looked like they were
Time to
melting
bid.
as the
Place
characters
them
are
eye.
playing them as you're seeing
At
on screen.
last.
It just confirmed
Civilian
what we
structure
said
complete.
already,
Our
that this
armor is
wasn't really
breached.
a game. It's
Harmony
just
research
another
complete.
soulless slop
Speak your
simulator
mind.
that's being made to
Unleash
force your
our
wallet
wrath.
open so you keep paying them to relive nostalgia.
Our voices
in better
speak as
games.
one.
That's not even the end of Activision admitting to using generative AI, since they also used it for Black Ops 6's visuals as well as other games too. And that kind of explains why some of the textures and even the calling cards look suspiciously not made by human artists.
Phase jump
They're
underway.
cutting corners on literally everything that they can, from human artists to designers, while charging you still premium prices either way. It's like paying $100 for a promised top-of-the-line burger at some restaurant and then finding out that the patty was 3D
Phase
printed
jump
and there's
underway.
nobody working in the kitchen. Now let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and the whole you will owe nothing bits, because it's happening for real this time. So the Xbox showcase happened, Microsoft ended their event, they looked through a single game that just came out. It was actually insane that that's what they ended their presentation with, and I audibly groaned when I saw it live. But Black Ops 7 is the game that's less a sequel and more a middle finger to players than really anything else. It's set in 2035 and promises mind-bending
You may
visuals and the
speak.
return of David
At
Mason.
last.
Oh wow. Sounds cool at first.
Did someone
but
say
this game
booty?
is also a symptom
The
of
galaxy's
everything that
finest
is obviously
Corsairs
wrong with
at your
modern gaming,
service.
pretty much.
The scourge
First, you
of
have
the
price.
galaxy.
Black Ops 7 is expected to cost $80 digitally, following the trend set by the Outer Worlds 2, which
You've
has
won the
also
auction,
confirmed
mate.
2 will be adopting
must
this new price
act.
point thanks to Nintendo. $80 frickin' fellas, for a game that'll
Speak
probably
your
ship
mind.
half the content locked behind a paywall too.
The
like,
future
because
is
remember
ours.
that Black Ops 6, which is half
So
a year
shall it
old
be.
as this video going
Is
live,
it time?
Black Ops 7 is shaping up to be more of the same.
We
But
sensed
now
your
it's
presence.
even pricier, and if the
Our
base
thoughts
game is
are
more
one.
expensive, I
Is it
fully
time?
expect other things like battle passes and more too.
May their
to
deaths
also
bring us
cost
peace.
more, because
We
why
must
not,
keep
right?
our wits about
Let's
us.
just burn all
They
the
will not
goodwill
go down
while we're
without
at
a
it. Why
fight.
not? Activision's obviously been cagey about whether
Hostility
Black Ops
research
7 will
complete.
hit Nintendo Switch 2, despite Microsoft's 10-year-old deal to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo platforms. Sources say that they're committed to a Switch 2 version, but it's not confirmed for launch, as you can see from this article on screen. They want to bring it to Switch 2, of course they want more money, but can't right now. Why? It's simple. Because Activision knows they can first milk Xbox, PlayStation, and PC players first, then maybe if they're feeling like it, they can release a half-baked version to Switch 2 later, slap that $80 USD price tag on it, and then call it a day. It's the same
Do
playbook
not
they used
dare
in Call of Duty
resist.
Ghosts on the Wii U.
Our time
Remember
has
the Wii
come.
U? Nobody remembers the Wii U, but that game
Speak
ran
your
like a
mind.
PowerPoint presentation at the best of times. And don't get me started on Game Pass shenanigans. Black Ops 7 is of course a day one Game Pass release, which sounds great until you realize that Microsoft's been hiking Game Pass prices.
So shall it be.
The standard
Unleash
tier, that
our
jumped from
wrath.
$9.99 to $14.99 a month in 2024.
We
That's a
sensed your
50%
presence.
increase, dude. And with Black Ops 7's Xbox Play Anywhere feature, they're pushing you to buy into
Speak
the
your
ecosystem
mind.
above anything else. 'Cause it's
Your
not
time
about
has
giving you
come.
Options. It's about
Your
locking
time
you
has
into a
come.
subscription that routinely
Heathens be
increases
purged.
the price every few months.
Do not
And
dare
hoping
resist.
You don't notice by
Your
ensuring
time
that
has
you're
come.
distracted by the shiny trailers to realize that they're conditioning you.
Shields
so
down.
that you'll owe nothing and be happy mentality without even realizing it in the first place. For a good example of this, look at the Gamer.com's article here titled "Xbox may have finally gone all digital as nobody
We
can
are
find
without
physical
armor.
discs for its biggest
Is it
users."
time?
So, Xbox players are having an impossible
Destiny
time finding
unfolds.
options for this fall's biggest releases on that platform. Games like Ninja Gaiden 4, and my computer keeps renaming that to Ninja Garden 4, and The Outer Worlds 2, by the way, do not seem to have
We
any
are
options
ready.
to pre-order via Microsoft's Xbox platform that allows for physical retail copies to be bought. What's crazy is that games like Gears of War Reloaded, which is the
Our time has come.
remaster of the first Gears game that is officially coming to PlayStation
The
this
Unities
August,
will be
is
done.
actually getting a physical release when it comes out, but that
The
physical
Scourge
release
of the
is on
Galaxy.
PlayStation and not on Xbox, if you can believe it. Same goes for Ninja Gaiden 4, The Outer Worlds 2, and much more as well. All
Our
of these
will
games,
is transcendent.
all owned by Microsoft,
Shields
pretty much
down!
are seemingly only releasing
The
their
future
games physically
is
via
ours.
PlayStation, but not their own home console. That's
We
kinda
are
weird,
severely
isn't it? As
crippled.
confirmed here again by the Gamer.com.
Unleash
Here's the
our
logo
wrath.
skips Xbox for physical
We
copies.
sensed your
So what
presence.
gives? How could Microsoft
Vengeance
be
is a
doing
cruel
this and catering,
mistress.
honestly, more so to
Speak
the
your
rival
mind.
platform and PlayStation over their own customers? Well, the truth is, it's actually pretty bleak. It's because Microsoft, which
Very
also owns
wise.
Activision Blizzard and IPs like Call of Duty and more, has successfully
Our shields have
forced the
failed.
behaviors of owning nothing upon the Xbox fan base for years at this point. With services like Game Pass, there's no need to sell physical media since Xbox.
What does the Unity will?
Armor
is compromised. We won't last long.
You could
Harmony
argue that
research
Steam has been
complete.
for years
We
too.
await your
Despite
command.
plenty of stories online of players losing access to certain games all over, proving that for years now, when you buy digital, especially, you're
Harmony
not
research
actually buying
complete.
a copy of that
We
game,
are
but
ready.
a license pretty much to play that game instead.
Production
And
of the
because
item
this
is
new
complete.
normal, the players are technically now at the mercy of what these corporations
made a
deem
fine
is their way
purchase.
forward. So as an
No
Xbox user,
refunds.
if all you use is Game Pass, you own
The
nothing
future
at all.
is ours.
You can really only play with
Hostility
Microsoft
research
Like a
complete.
kid being given a happy meal by their parents, and when games leave Game Pass,
Destiny
too bad. You like
unfolds.
that game? Well, you didn't own it in the first place, so stop crying. And now you're unable to play anything else unless you pay for it. But even then, it's still digital anyway.
You
so
may
it's still serving
speak.
all the way.
The
back to
Unities
the
will
top
be
end,
done.
which is that you genuinely will own nothing, and you should be happy.
Hostility
Microsoft
research
will
complete.
Push this reality on Xbox players, and Steam players have kind of already accepted this reality too. It just leaves PlayStation as the last bastion of physical media, pretty much, but also not.
We
really.
are
'Cause even
exiles
on
no
PlayStation,
longer.
Most discs are also just glorified digital codes that exist on the actual discs, even on Nintendo Switch 2.
Is
it's
it
the
time?
Same thing. As confirmed here back in April 2025 by Polygon, some of the Nintendo Switch
We
2
are
cartridges,
ready.
They don't even have games on them
The
anymore.
future
Now, the
is
Switch 2,
ours.
which is like a hybrid portable system, can't
Destiny
even be played in
unfolds.
handheld form
We
unless
must
you
act.
authenticated via the internet as well. And if Nintendo deems that you broke some law,
Our
now
thoughts
your
are
handheld is
one.
a glorified
Speak your
paperweight at
mind.
best, and you can't play the thing at all. Effectively
Implicitly.
meaning that nothing
In
is truly safe
position.
This mentality of zero ownership that these companies are pushing onto every single one of us. You then
Poised to
combine this with
strike.
the other problems,
I'll
of course,
make it so.
increasing prices.
Speak
Black
your
Ops 7
mind.
and more are also
Heathens be
doing
purged.
setting this precedent. It's $80 price tags. and
Witness
aggressive
the
monetization
Unity's
are
might.
gonna greenlight
Done
other
and dusted.
publishers to just do the same.
Our
Look at
forces
Star
have
Wars
engaged the
Outlaws. That's
enemy.
Ubisoft charging $70 for a game that felt like a side quest that got stretched into like 30
Desecrators
hours.
assault
Now,
our
buy a
world.
$40 season pass on top of that. What
We
about
are
Assassin's
ready.
Creed Shadows?
Production
Nobody
of the
remembers that.
item
That
is
also spent the entire
complete.
campaign just blue balling you with teases, only to end
The
its
future
campaign
is
telling you
ours.
literally nothing. I played the game, I would know this, and just pushing you to buy the season pass to get
Heathens
the real
be
story
purged.
of the game. So stuff like this, and now even
Witness
Black Ops
the
7
unity's
are the
might.
poster children for this
Harmony
new
research
wave
complete.
of corporate greed, and it's just dragging
Speak your
games
mind.
into this dystopian hellscape where games are going to cost as much as a car payment eventually. Okay, I'm joking. It won't cost as much as a car. I hope
We
not.
sensed
anyway.
your presence.
But these days, any hyperbole
Our
can
thoughts
probably
are
become
one.
reality. And I really don't want prices to increase any further than they already have. But speaking of dystopian hellscapes, let's talk about The Outer Worlds 2, Microsoft's first
We await your command.
$80 game at release. That's right, Obsidian's quirky sci-fi RPG
Speak your
sequel
mind.
is now priced like a
Heathens
luxury
be
item.
purged.
Want to explore a game
Do
that
not
says
dare
capitalism is
resist.
a modern nightmare? Cool, just give in to that very same capitalism by paying Obsidian $80 digitally.
The
for
future
Outer Worlds
is
2.
ours.
Why $80? Because Microsoft signed
We
a
await your
$10
command.
price point
Witness
for Mario Kart
the
World for Switch
unity's
2,
might.
And they thought, hey, if they can gouge their fans,
The future
why can't
is
we?
ours.
They'll gaslight you and say it's because games are more expensive to make, but it's quickly becoming obvious
You may
that
speak.
this isn't really about inflation or development.
Production
costs.
of the item is
It's about
complete.
testing how much
The future
they
is
can follow
ours.
us before we
Do
riot
not dare
collectively
resist.
As a global community.
We
How
are
far
ready.
can the publishers push
Witness
before there's
the
real
unity's
resistance from
might.
their customers? Oh,
The
they're
future
okay with that
is
$80
ours.
price point?
Hostility
What about
research
$85
complete.
digitally?
We
Oh, they're still
are
okay with that
ready.
one too.
Planet
Let's push
item
to
ready.
90, maybe 95? Ah, screw it. Let's round it to $100 in a few years, because why not, right? Like The Outer Worlds was a $60 game
An
back in
auction
2019. It
is
was a hit
underway.
because it was affordable and packed
Speak
with
your
that charm
mind.
that Obsidian was known for before the activists
Harmony
went
research
crazy over there,
complete.
and now the sequel's price, it just feels like a betrayal. Like finding out that your favorite indie band is signed with a soulless record label.
Whatever the unity
Well, this is
wills.
honestly what has happened with Obsidian. And Obsidian, which was once one of the bastions of creativity and making cool games that nobody else could, has quickly turned into the very thing that they promised that they never would. Now
Our
they
shields have
talk
failed.
Avowed and
Is it
address
time?
Outer Worlds 2.
Your time has
When
come.
Avowed comes to
We
PlayStation
are
eventually,
ready.
They'll be charging
Armor
that
is
$80
compromised.
too, hoping
We
that
won't last
somebody will
long.
be stupid enough to
May
pay
our
that price.
vengeance be
Pretty
swift.
obvious that this is all
Is it
just
time?
Microsoft's, plan and has their fingerprints all
Give
over.
me the fine purchase.
Activision acquisition,
No
they've been flexing their
refunds.
monopoly muscles on the entire industry. As this little line from the AmericanConsumer.com says, where Microsoft promised to do better post their acquisition of
You may
Activision
speak.
Blizzard, which reads, in reality, the merger would deliver a major
The unity's
victory.
will be
We're
done.
likely to see
The future
significant
is
benefits,
ours.
like expanded
Very
access,
wise.
greater selection of games,
Give me
and
a
lower
target.
prices. Well,
I'll
that
make
was a
it
lie,
so.
wasn't it? They promised that
They
this
shall not
acquisition
survive.
wouldn't lead to anti-competitive
Victory
behavior, and
is
of
at hand.
course, it aged like
We must
but in
act.
reality, places like Microsoft
What does the
were instead
unity will?
winning in the end either way.
We must
PlayStationLifestyle.com said
Our
back
thoughts
in
are
January
one.
2025, as agreed
Speak
to,
your mind.
PlayStation behind 64%
Implicitly.
spending on Microsoft games last month. So
So shall it
as
be.
you can see, the majority
Our
of that
thoughts
revenue
are
came from
one.
a single game. Call
Our
of
time
Duty
has
6,
come.
Call of Duty 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, to nobody's
Our voices
surprise,
speak as
proving
one.
that they're not making games
Our
exclusive
vessel is
anymore,
crippled.
But now they're just making them
Give
more
me a
expensive across all
target.
platforms to form a monopoly instead.
We
And with
sensed
the
your
Outer Worlds 2,
presence.
they're normalizing $80 as the new standard prior to the other releases to come. And then by doing
Is it
this,
time?
Microsoft and by extension Activision Blizzard are forcing
You
those
failed
behaviors,
to place
those
a
ideas
bid.
into the brains of
Vengeance
future
is a
players,
cruel
paving the way
mistress.
for those future releases
What does the
like
unity
Fable,
will?
Avowed, and
Moving
every
into
other
phase
Xbox
space.
title to follow suit when they come
Is
to
it time?
PlayStation as well. This is predatory because it's not about value. It's about the
Your time has
exploitation
come.
of the user. The Outer
Very
Worlds
wise.
page, by the way, lists
Heathens
this
be
$80
purged.
Standard edition. But there's no real
What does
word
the
on what
unity
you actually
will?
get for that price. Will it have a battle pass?
So
Will
shall
have
it be.
microtransactions? Or I
Is
don't
it
know.
time?
Maybe it'll have a $50 DLC that unlocks the good ending in game. That might sound like a
Speak your
joke to you,
mind.
but these days anything is possible. But in Microsoft's opinion,
Very
they're just
wise.
betting that we're going to
We are
pay up
without
either way because
armor.
in their eyes, what
Shields
choice
down.
would be the players
Hostility
even have?
research
And then
complete.
there's Nintendo.
Whatever the Unity
That's been
wills.
gaslighting us into thinking
The
that
moment
$80
of our
games are
vengeance is at hand.
And their Switch 2
Witness
launch
the
already cost
Unity's
more than
might.
$80 digital.
May
Now
our
their Switch 2
vengeance
edition
be
titles are following
swift.
suit. And
Production
Nintendo's
of the
excuse
item
for
is
this that they're
complete.
calling these Switch 2
Witness
games that
the
already
Unity's
exist, but are
might.
being sold on Switch 2 as enhanced experiences. As seen here with Metroid, Nintendo was selling these
You may
games with
speak.
enhanced being a part of their selling pitch. So now, not only do your Switch 2
We
cartridges
cannot go
not
on.
really have
We're
to
crippled.
sell anyway, but they can sell older games back to you like Zelda for full price again as long as they put enhanced somewhere in its description box. When in actuality, the only enhancement
Unleash
is
our
the
wrath.
hole in your wallet from buying the same
Our
game
voices
for
speak as
price
one.
points again.
Harmony
This
research complete.
definitely don't even own
The
game.
Unity
I
has
see
fallen
Nintendo's
silent on
price
one of our
hikes are ruining
planets.
everything.
You may
Because
speak.
They're the trendsetters in
Feel
this
our
situation. Now
wrath.
with Nintendo raising
Time
their prices
is
to
passing.
$90
The future
themselves,
is ours.
It's very obvious that everyone else is just going to follow their example. Now with $80 games that you don't even own, they're giving Activision, Microsoft, and even Sony a free pass to jack up prices too. It's like Nintendo's that cool kid in school who started wearing $200 sneakers, and now everyone's just trying to copy them. Nintendo's not just raising prices, they're normalizing predatory
Time is
monetization
passing.
in a family-friendly package. Remember
At
Pokemon
last.
Scarlet and Violet? Those games launched at $60 with performance issues so bad they look like a PS2 game running on a
We
poster.
are
Now,
ready.
imagine that same game, but for $80 it can run better. Why? Because it's now enhanced. And the Switch 2's hardware
Vengeance is a cruel mistress.
It's on par with like a PlayStation
May our
4.
vengeance
Yet
be
Nintendo's
swift.
charging PS5
The
prices for
moment
their games
of our
either way.
vengeance
This
is at
isn't
hand.
innovation. It's
Witness
exploitation,
the
to say how it
Unity's
is.
might.
Because they know that the
The
fans will
moment
pay
of
because
our
it's
vengeance is at
Nintendo.
hand.
The same way people buy
The
overpriced
future
Apple
is
products.
ours.
Or how players
Shield
buy
down!
every new Call of Duty
Time
hoping
is
this one will
passing.
be different, but at one point,
Planet
you
item
just say that
ready.
enough is enough.
Speak
So
your
let's
mind.
tie this all together with Microsoft, the puppet masters pulling Activision strings. Their $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard was supposed to benefit
is
gamers, as I
breached!
showed earlier. Instead, it's led to layoffs and price
Our
hikes
time
and
has
more
come.
aggressive monetization.
The
than
anima
really
are
ever before.
restless.
Microsoft promised
Our
that
vengeance
Call of Duty would
is
stay
yours.
multi-platform, but they
Cry
didn't
for
promise that it
mercy.
wouldn't cost an arm and a
Our
leg
time
to
has
keep it
come.
that way. Like even
Our
though look at what
voices
they did with
speak as
Halo
one.
Infinite. It launched with
You
free-to-play
may speak.
multiplayer, but then it had a
The
$60
Unity's will be
campaign with
done.
microtransactions that were
Our
so
time
bad,
has come.
Microsoft should have
At
just called it
last.
Halo Infinite Green
Our
instead.
voices
How so
speak
many
as
games
one.
these days now put in DLC for you to buy that would have unlocked for free in older games back in the day.
Unleash
So
our
Microsoft's
wrath.
strategy is clear. They acquire studios,
Feel
at
our
cut
wrath.
costs, and then they milk
We
players for
are
subscriptions
ready.
to overpriced games, and it's working.
Our
yeah,
time
don't
has
forget
come.
Cloud gaming. That's Microsoft's pushing. They're also pushing Black Ops 7 on Xbox Cloud gaming as well. But of course, you
Unleash
need Game
our
Pass
wrath.
Ultimate, which is $16.99 a month. Want to play
The
on your
shields are
phone?
offline.
Well, you better have a
You may
NASA-level internet
speak.
connection. Otherwise, you're probably screwed. So they're not really
Your
making
presence
games
is strong.
accessible. They're making the hobby into a luxury, and
Is it
nobody
time?
seems to care, and that's kind of crazy to me. What's even more insane is if Game Pass doesn't work
Say
out in
no
the end,
more.
Microsoft can just pull the plug, and all those players
More
with their
credits
Xbox
are
profiles
required.
are now just SOL. Because you really can't cry about Microsoft pulling games from you when you never owned any of them to begin with. Ultimately, Activision
We are
Blizzard's predatory
ready.
practices, Black Ops 7's $80 price tag, The Outer Worlds 2 wallet assault, and Nintendo's price hikes
Witness
are killing
the
soul of
Unity's
gaming.
might.
People just need to realize this. Microsoft is
Is
also
it time?
enabling it all, and they're laughing as they count their billions. But we're not helpless. Firstly, I implore people to vote with their wallets.
the
Don't
fine
pre-order
purchase.
Black Ops 7. Wait for
No
the reviews. If it's a
refunds.
cash grab, which it probably is, it's Call of Duty, let's be real, skip it. Or wait till it's cheaper. Something. Second, support
Hostility
some indie
research
games,
complete.
games like Hollow Knight and Stardew Valley that cost like $15. and they deliver more heart than any of these AAA titles.
We
Play some
are
cheaper
ready.
games. Play your backlogs. I know.
Witness
I know,
the unity's
100%
might.
every single
The
person
moment
watching this
of
right
our
now,
vengeance
you
is
all
at
have like
hand.
50 games in your
May
backlogs,
our
don't you?
vengeance
You know who
be
you are.
swift.
Don't play those
The
Why aren't you
moment
playing
of
them?
our
Why do you
vengeance
wanna
is at
play Black
hand.
Ops 7 so bad? It's easy
Vengeance
to
is a
do.
cruel
Go
mistress.
play the game
May
you
our
already own that
vengeance
game.
be
There's so many
swift.
games that you could go beat
Speak
right
your
now.
mind.
Just do it. You know you do. You know that game you stopped playing halfway through? Go play that game. What are you doing? You don't need to
At
buy every
last.
new game like that comes out. God's sakes, dude. I'm losing my mind here. But anyway, you don't need every new game that comes out. And thirdly, speak out. Tweet, comment, even make videos. Let these companies know that we're not their personal piggy banks and make your voices heard. I mean, it worked with Borderlands 4 recently, and it can work again. So question these companies on social media. Comment on their posts.
Phase
Ask
jump
them why they're
underway.
doing this. Don't just blindly
Our shields
buy
are
into things 'cause
offline.
they got the next new hot celebrity on the cover of their game. hoping that
Whatever
FOMO
the
is
unity
bad enough that
wills.
You'll just cave in like you always do. Ultimately, gaming is at a crossroads right now. Nintendo fans have already shown that they're fine with this price hike, which I mean, that sucks, but the rest of us don't have to be. Video games should not be this luxury hobby that only people who make like $100,000 or more should be able to play at regular intervals. This forced price gouging is going to
Witness
just
the
make this
unity's
industry's worst
might.
habits just skyrocket
Witness
into
the
strategy.
unity's
And I do
might.
hope that this video
The
helped you
moment of
understand
our
that.
vengeance is at
What do you
hand.
think? Let me know in the
Is it
comments.
time?
Subscribe. Thank you for watching.
None
and I'll
shall
see you in the
survive.
next one. Don't buy
Tremble
Black Ops
before the
7 at
unity.
release. I'm begging you.
None
Just go
shall
play your
survive.
backlog, for God's sakes. Okay, I'm
Tremble
tired.
before the unity.
Who opposes the Empire? Of
Clair
course.
Obscur Expedition 33 is a
Victory is
masterful game that many
assured.
have enjoyed since it first
Unleash
came out
our
just a
wrath.
while back. I played through the game's story almost 3 times myself, mostly because I was missing stuff for
Speak your
100%.
mind.
And when I finally did
Time
get
to
the
bid.
coveted
Place
Platinum
them all.
Trophy for Clair Obscur, I felt both relieved and saddened, knowing that my journey in this game was now coming officially to a close, but I had nothing really left to do. I completed literally everything. Every character hit level
Harmony
99,
research
I had
complete.
maxed out pretty much whatever I could in the game. And I realized that in that moment that here I
Unleash
was
our
playing
wrath.
a game that came out in 2025 that
last.
for once, I actually felt saddened that the experience
unity's
was now
will be
over
done.
for me, because most of the
Shields
time,
down!
once I beat a game, I'm
You may
almost just
speak.
excited for the next game that I jump into. But when it came to Clair Obscur, I felt more like I was going through some sort of withdrawal.
We
Like I
must
knew
act.
whatever I played next, I wouldn't be
You may
able to catch
speak.
that sort of high again. Thankfully, Tainted Grail, The Fall of
At
Avalon did
last.
come out, and that
In
game is about as
position.
close to a second coming of that
I'll make
feeling
it
like
so.
what Clair Obscur originally
At
gave
last.
to me. And both of these games are amazing in their own rights, and both games have that sauce, if you will, that je ne sais quoi, as they would say, that really elevates a piece of
What
art
does the
above
unity
its
will?
contemporaries. And both of these games just make me excited to sit down and jump into their worlds when I have the free
Implicitly,
time. Yet both
the
of these
future
games are
is
kind of a
ours.
problem in a way too, and some believe that they're going to change things for the worse, and others think that games like Clair Obscur are only successful due to mega corporate support. Clair Obscur has been a
Vengeance
huge
is a
sales
cruel
success, but I'll
mistress.
admit I'm surprised to see
Unleash
Microsoft
our
getting
wrath.
0 credit in helping it achieve that. This article has caused a lot of people to raise their eyebrows because it's, well, kind of tone deaf if I'm being honest.
unity's
article
will be
references
done.
another one from GameIndustry.biz where they recently sat down and interviewed the people who made Clair Obscur, and that one is titled The Big
In
Clair Obscur Expedition
position.
33 Interview, Sandfall and Kepler on
Tremble
T-Size, the
before the
return
unity.
of AA games and what's next. So, circling
Our
back to that
voices
first
speak
article,
as one.
apparently Microsoft is not getting enough praise for making Clair a success, which I think is unwarranted,
Sorry, mate.
because Game
Better
Pass
look in the
doesn't
next
really seem
auction.
to help many AAA games when it
Is it
comes to
time?
much of anything besides really cannibalizing
None
your
shall
sales.
survive.
After all, recently, as
Tremble
seen
before
here,
the
Doom the
unity.
Dark Ages has been
The
confirmed
shields
to
are
have only
offline.
sold around
We cannot
800,000
survive
copies
without
since
armor.
launch. So that Game
Hostility
Pass
research
number
complete.
definitely ate into
Who
its
opposes
software's
the
full price sales.
Empire?
While Dark
Is it
Ages is a
time?
good game, it didn't
The
set the world
future
on
is
fire at all.
ours.
It's not to say that every game is ruined sales-wise by Game Pass. We do know
We
that
await your
Oblivion
command.
Remastered and Clair Obscur, they both released their day one as well. But I think the real reason why Clair did so well was because not many people had their eyes on it at first. But then it came out to insanely glowing
The
reviews. I mean, we
future
were in
is
like the high
ours.
90s when we saw that, and scoring perfect 10s across the board. It just hit the ground with a thunderous smash of a perfect storm ratings, and people just took notice of that clearly. Reviews obviously still equate to people buying games, and if a game reviews poorly, it
May
will,
our
even to this day,
vengeance
let's be
be
honest,
swift.
affect their sales.
The
It just
moment
is
of
what
our
it is. And if
vengeance
you
is at
become one of
hand.
the lucky few who
May our
manages that
vengeance
90
be
plus Metacritic
swift.
score that they're all
We await
chasing,
your
chances
command.
are that your game will be
Speak
bought
your
and played by
mind.
people who don't even
Stand by
necessarily
for
like the
face jump.
genre but just want to play it
Say
because of the
no
score. There
more.
are people who are like that. And look, I've played a lot of turn-based RPGs in my time, and I still think that Claire has probably one of the best turn battle systems I've ever seen in my life. It's actually astounding how well crafted its battle system really is, and I genuinely believe that we're gonna be seeing that battle system, which is so evidently an evolution of things like Legend of Dragoon's battle system, to make a roaring comeback. But as TrueAchievement.com says here, they still think that Claire Obscur is wrong to not acknowledge Microsoft at all, as they say here. Still, I have to admit, it feels a little weird to read a celebratory piece like this that doesn't even name-check Microsoft and its Xbox Game Pass service as a potential factor in the game's success, particularly when the interview goes out of its way to honestly reflect on the hurdles facing AA development today and how these creatives got around that. They also bring up, as you can see here, how quite a few of the highest rated games of the year so far
We
all
sensed your
launched day
presence.
one on Game Pass. But I mean, games like Blue
Our
Prince
thoughts
also
are
launched day
one.
one on PS Plus, but generally speaking, I think
So
releasing
shall it
day one
be.
on these platforms is a double-edged sword. If your game had an obscenely low budget, then releasing this way can obviously help you because Microsoft or Sony just pay you straight up for having it. But it hasn't worked all of the time. Again, Dark Ages pretty
Our
much
thoughts
flopped due
are
to Game
one.
Pass just eating its sales. That's obvious. But again, Claire Obscur reviewed so well out of
Implicitly,
the gate that there was
vengeance is
tangible
a cruel
excitement
mistress.
and curiosity to see
Our
what
forces
this
have
game was all
engaged
about
the
for many
enemy.
people. And while the
Our
game is
thoughts
amazing,
are
and yes,
one.
you should play it if
Is
you
it
haven't
time?
already, I'm worried that
Destiny
the industry will instead learn the
unfolds.
wrong things from games like Claire or even Tainted Grail. These games are smaller than your AAA offerings, yet they go for the wide as a
We
pool but
sensed
deep
your
as an ocean
presence.
philosophy instead of
So
what
shall it
AAA
be.
usually does these days, which is wide as an ocean and deep as a puddle. They just keep adding map icons and rehashing the same content over
thoughts
and
are
over to
one.
pad the experience.
Speak
It's
your
why in most
mind.
AAA games, if you
You
put a
will
gun to
be
my head and ask me to
purged.
tell you 5 side
Whatever
quests in
the
each one that I
unity
played, I
wills.
probably can't these days because
Witness
it's all
the
so
unity's
forgettable. I
might.
think games should be
Is it
smaller
time?
and be more quality based. I mean, Tainted Grail's only real issue is, yes, its game stability and its performance, but outside of that, the actual meat of what that game is amazing, and it's apparently selling well for Awakened Realms, and I truly hope that Tainted Grail does get a sequel in the future, because they've successfully combined Arthurian
The
legend
enemy
with
has
like
used a
dark
newly built
fantasy and
phase jump inhibitor
Lovecraftian
to
elements
trap our
pretty
fleet.
much, and it all came into this weird world that to me feels more exciting than anything Bethesda has done in over a decade and then some. Tainted Grail, to me, it gives me old school
Commerce
Witcher vibes,
upgrade
or even
complete.
Dragon Age Origins. Like, it's this game that, if successful, a potential sequel could be absolutely insane in terms of potential if given the
Is the
chance to,
unity with us?
happen. And Claire
Do not
Obscur is the
abandon
same
me.
way, but it's more so that potential
Our hyperspace
actualized
drive is
already. And I
offline.
think if anything, these games that are resonating with people
Planet
the most
item
are
ready.
these AA games
Whatever
over the
the
AAA
unity
ones. They're
wills.
just, how do I put
Hostility
this? They feel
research
like they
complete.
have actual heart
Destiny
and soul in them, you know?
unfolds.
Like the people who made these games didn't just clock in for the day to make their paycheck, but really
Tell us
actually
what to
cared
do.
about what they were doing.
Is this
You know
the
how
path
it
to
feels
vengeance?
yourself when you do something you truly enjoy doing versus something that you're obligated to do? We've all felt that feeling. It's that in game form. Like as a kid, I couldn't wait to come home to play Final Fantasy VII, Legend of
Vengeance is a
Dragoon, or
cruel
Hoshigami
mistress.
Ruining Blue Earth, or hell, Final Fantasy Tactics 2. But when I knew I had to go to sleep and wake up to go to school to learn about stuff I frankly didn't care about, yeah, those 8 hours
Give
at
me
school,
a
it felt more like
target.
20 hours instead. And I can only imagine how these
Whatever the
AAA
unity
devs feel when they
wills.
know that they gotta make something
Consider
that they
it
just
done.
frankly don't really care about anymore. The burnout is here, trust
The
me.
enemy
Even
has
me
used
doing
a newly
YouTube
built
content,
phase
trust
jump
me when I
inhibitor to
tell you
trap
that
our
most
fleet.
people who make YouTube
The anima
content,
are
or really
restless.
any content in
Death
general
will
these
cleanse
days,
your
they are probably
sins.
burnt out to a certain degree,
Poised
probably
to
all of the
strike.
time, and it is just what it is. So when you play something that's cool and weird like Claire Obscur or Tainted Grail,
We
it
are
gives
ready.
you those feelings that you're yearning returning again. That feeling that you chased when you sat down to play those sorts of games that you loved in the past, because you wanted to see more of it. What could be hiding in that next area or around the next corner, you know? I got that feeling of plenty playing both of those games, because once I beat Act 2 of Clair Obscur and then the game enters its proper endgame, you would think originally, well, what's there left to do? Honestly, just the final mission and that's it? Well, I mean, yeah, but then if you explore, you'll quickly then realize, wow, there's pretty much an entire game's worth of content just waiting outside of your reach once you reach the end game proper. You have that big tower full of hard battles. You got flying godlike beings that you gotta fight now for special Picto items. There's entire massive optional areas where you travel through them fighting all kinds of monsters and finding new things. Not to mention a super boss I won't spoil, or all the, you know, weird hidden areas sitting in the clouds that you couldn't access yet. It just made me feel like I was playing Final Fantasy IX or 4 again. Like it felt like a world that was full of mysteries that I wanted to unravel because I wanted to do that myself. I feel the same way with Tainted Grail too. Yesterday, I did a quest in that game where I found some old guy guarding a pit. He asked me to relieve him of his year's duty, so I said, screw it, why not? I'll join you. He then said, okay, and then he just jumped into the very pit that he was just protecting for years. So me being me, of course, I jumped in after him because why not? And then I fell for multiple seconds until I crashed onto like a massive pile of decaying bodies, and then that old man had actually died from the fall. And now I was in this like pit of darkness, and at the end of it I found some Lovecraftian evil that the quest doesn't even really explain even when it's over. You just feel like you found something that you weren't really meant to find, but that sense of discovery and dread is amazing. And the cave that this guy was in, it wasn't even marked with the quest, it's just some cave. It's the same way in Clair Obscur, you just find places and then things just start happening. I don't feel like I'm being handheld the same way by these AA games, and honestly, I love it. It also helps that these games aren't as huge as an Ubisoft slot. Discovery is also tangible and digestible, because it's not beyond this next May we live beyond this next contest. Like Ghost Recon Wildlands or something. And then former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida, that's this merry old guy on screen here that you're seeing, he left Sony after like 30-something years with the company, and he now works as a freelance consultant and is currently working with Kepler Interactive, which is the publisher of Clair Obscur. He was also interviewed as a part of that GameIndustry.biz interview. Here's what Shuhei Yoshida said about Kepler Interactive and how Clair Obscur will shape the industry going forward. They have a great balance in looking for innovation in games and investing in commercially viable projects. I think the way Kepler chooses games and supports developers is a great example of sustainable indie publishing. I expect many companies in the industry will look for inspiration from what Kepler is doing. What's different about Kepler over, say, Electronic Arts or Microsoft is that Kepler is actually owned by multiple studios, and they all kind of just coexist and make decisions together on what looks cool and what they should pursue in games media. Their director of portfolios who oversees the games for Kepler Interactive is a guy named Matthew Hanrahan. Hopefully I said that right, but he's a former games journalist who decided to enter games fully. And here's what he said about Kepler Interactive and how they make successes like Clair Obscur a reality. They make a lot of their own choices creatively and commercially in terms of the direction of their business, but there is a collaborative aspect that they can draw upon if they feel they need it. The thing that we definitely are very clear on is Kepler is not sitting here telling anyone what to do, which is a stark difference, mind you, to what most game publishers do these days. They usually dictate and decide exactly what they want and even strong-arm studios into compliance. It's way worse with AAA too, and I think we can all agree that AAA is definitely suffering because of the bloat as well as the interferences that they face daily. According to the people at the top of Kepler, they look for games with bold art directions and unique gameplay features. They also specifically avoid what they call industry trends and make an effort to not push games that do concepts like, say, superhero genre slop or have familiar influences with other IP like Star Wars, which is smart because both Star Wars and superhero films are kind of falling off as of late anyways for the most part, unless your name is Spider-Man. But Kepler makes it evident in their interview that they are not in the business of just trying to replicate what others are already doing. An example they give at one point is they would not take imitation games of, say, a recent success success of a game. Because if they did that, by the time their imitation game was
Whatever
ready
the
for market,
Unity
there would
wills.
likely already be like 100 other similar games that are also ripping off that one success game. Meaning you would both be wasting your time
Is it
and
time?
resources pushing something that can't stand out because of the other copycats. And believe me, as someone who does YouTube, I understand that, because the amount of times that I've seen my style of, say, thumbnail or even other things that I do get ripped off is kind of annoying. There's like entire other channels on YouTube that just straight up copied how I did things verbatim. I won't even mention them by name because I won't give
Heathens
them
be
clout, but yeah,
purged.
it's annoying to say the
Your
least, and I
time
know I'm
has
not
come.
the only one. But I guess it just shows how people will copy anything that they think
Do
is
not
successful.
dare
And
resist.
Sandfall, which is a studio that made Clair
Heathens
Obscure,
be
their
purged.
COO and producer whose
Your
name
time
is,
has
gonna
come.
butcher this, but his name is Francois Maurice. I said that for wrong, I'm
Do
probably
not
sure, but
dare
he spoke about how
resist.
Clair Obscure came to
Your
be and
time
how
has
what
come.
they did was not something welcomed in AAA
Your
at the
time
time
has
at
come.
all, Francois would say. He was immediately on board with Broch's passion for revitalizing the
Our
kind of
time has
flashy
come.
3D turn-based JRPGs that had long gone out of fashion. That passion came first, the strategy came later, a bit after when we tried to rationalize that yearning he has for this kind of game. We realized that it wasn't addressed as much in the market and maybe there was a place for it, says Francois. So they deliberately went out of their way to take a genre that the AAA industry is pretty much left
Speak
behind,
your
which
mind.
is turn-based RPGs, and decided to make a game of that variety because AAA saw no potential in it, which is interesting, isn't it? Because now Clair Obscure, just like Baldur's Gate 3,
Do
are
not
games that
dare
are widely
resist.
celebrated, yet their
Your
genres are
time has
definitely something
come.
that people usually aren't
Heathens be
into on such a
purged.
level, yet here we
Do
are
not
anyways.
dare
I mean, even
resist.
Square Enix, which was one of the pioneers of turn-based games, left it behind with Final Fantasy, their flagship series these days too. And maybe if Square Enix made the next
Unleash
Final
our
Fantasy have
wrath.
combat like Clair Obscure, but you know, in their own unique way, that could be a mega hit for them. Because what has happened with Final Fantasy especially is that Square Enix has obviously chased trends.
What does
I
the
mean,
Unity
the guy who
will?
did the combat for Devil May Cry 5, he worked on Final Fantasy 16 after all, but I don't think turn-based is going out of style. It just needs to be
Our thoughts
reiterated
are
and innovated
one.
like anything else, because in my opinion, the way that
An
Clair Obscure
auction
plays, it
is
feels just as
underway.
impactful and involving as, say, Dark Souls or even Final Fantasy 16.
future
And just because
is
your game is
ours.
turn-based doesn't mean it has to suck or be boring.
Your
and
time has
Sandfall
come.
proved that with Expedition 33 for
Heathens
sure.
be
They also
purged.
even recently announced that they sold 3.3 million copies of Clair Obscure Expedition 33 in 33 days, and that's no joke, by the way. And games like these should become more normalized, because this is what the industry should be, or what it used to be, I should say. Games made for art and passion, not hitting sales
Your time
targets or
has
pushing the
come.
latest cross-media
Do
collabs
not
so people
dare
can open their
resist.
wallets again. Thankfully,
Your
Sandfall,
time has
according to
come.
GameSpot, is seen here. They already
Your
have their
time has
next game
come.
idea planned, which is great to see. Again, Francois Maurice was quoted for what Sandfall will do next, and he said this: "Plus, the team has grown up, has acquired new skills throughout production. Many of them were junior when we started. We learned to work together, so I can't wait to get the
Your
next
time
project
has come.
because we'll start from a more efficient position than when we
Vengeance is a
started the
cruel
company 5
mistress.
years ago. And that comes with higher expectations as well, so it'll be challenging, but I can say that we have, and Guillaume Broch, Sandfall CEO and creative director
time
in
has
particular,
come.
has great ideas for the next game." I definitely butchered that name too, but anyway, that's great to hear. I hope their next game is also amazing, but I also hope
You
it too is another
failed
turn-based
to place a
RPG,
bid.
although I wouldn't rule out action RPG either, because if they could revolutionize turn-based the way that they did already, I wonder what they would do with action RPG as a blueprint instead. But everything that Clair Obscure is should be seen as a victory, but it is also a threat to AAA too, because Clair Obscure has outdone so many of their competition despite being cheaper to both make or buy. It sold more than AC Shadows, it beat Doom the Dark Ages, it's still clearly selling at a rapid pace and then some. And I am worried that a game like this will only lead the industry to learn the worst lessons from it instead of what's actually needed. GameIndustry.biz then said this during the interview along with Francois, and commenting, "The success of Clair Obscure has led many to herald the comeback of AA games, a sector that has shrunk significantly over the past couple of console generations. Even if it's a harder category to define in 2025 based on a lack of publicly available budget numbers.
Heathens be
Some people
purged.
predicted to us that it was a tricky sector when we started development, and there could
Is
be
it
kind of
time?
a curse on AA games, Francois
Speak
would
your
continue.
mind.
But from our perspective, we didn't care too much about market considerations. In a sense, a Plague
Do
Tale
not
or
dare
Mortal Shell or
resist.
Hellblade, games like those, were already proof for us that small teams of less than 50 people could have great games and great execution.
has
We
come.
desperately need more games like Clair Obscur and Tainted Grail.
Our
Games not
voices
made by
speak as
1,000
one.
people while also outsourcing to multiple studios the world over just so that they can make the next live service slop game, in my opinion. And it's
Speak your
ironic too
mind.
that the games that cost less and are made by
make
fewer
it
people
so.
are usually the ones that also win
The
all the time.
future
You know, the
is
big awards
ours.
come season 2. It's almost as if having too many cooks in the kitchen like AAA usually does never really works out. As the head of portfolio at Sandfall would then say, these kinds of games did exist in much greater numbers about 15
Your
years ago.
time has
And I
come.
think there are some threads that the AAA industry lost as they grew and grew and grew. Well, that's an understatement. I mean, AAA has lost its way for a while now, if you ask me. They chased all kinds of trends, hero shooters, live service stupidity, even DEI, to name a few. Hell, even recently, a Concord dev gave away their launch plaque to Goodwill after that game flopped hard and died. I mean, you can